Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking into all of the information that was in the Coming Soon trailer. See, a couple days ago, Wargaming released a Coming Soon trailer that showcased a bunch of vehicles, but we only had a couple seconds to get an idea of what they looked like. Today, we are actually going to get in-depth views of these vehicles, like the Lightbringer and Solier, which are both very cool names, and they're going to be Halloween tanks. So, I hope you're excited. We're going to be breaking into all the information you're going to want to know. Something I want to point out is I am getting this information from Blitz Hub, or at least maybe not the information, but I am getting the styles of the vehicles, their looks and designs from Blitz Hub. Always a very quick YouTube channel to get out videos like this, so I do want to thank them for at least that part of the video. So in front of us, we have the Lightbringer. This is one of two Halloween vehicles that are coming into the game. We don't know anything about its stats yet, but it's supposed to be based off of a BZ-75. Personally, I don't see where that's coming from. The armor looks nothing like a BZ-75. Nothing about this tank looks like a BZ-75, to be completely real. So I don't agree with that take. I do think that this is a really cool looking vehicle, especially when it comes to the armor. Normally, tanks have a lower plate and an upper plate, something like this. And you know, you have the lower plate here, which is a weak spot, and then the upper plate. But this vehicle doesn't appear to have a lower plate because its armor is like this. So I wonder how strong this frontal plate is going to be. I mean, obviously, it's going to be most effective when you are keeping it dead at your opponent, because if you angle it like this, now this plate's going to become flat, and if you angle it like this, the same thing. So effectively, you're going to want to keep the armor at a pike towards your opponents. But it looks really sick. I'm expecting this to be a heavy tank. It looks like a heavy, and it looks really sick. Like, honestly, this thing looks like a beast. I'm really, really hoping that it's going to feature good armor. It can't feature too good armor, though, or it'll be overpowered. My guess, with the way that it looks to be, is these little cutouts here are going to be weak spots, and that this is actually going to be a strong plate. So I think that'll be really cool if Wargaming balances like that. My guess is also these spots here are going to be weaknesses, but the other parts of the turret are going to be strong. What I can say is this tank looks really cool. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. This tank looks really, really cool, and I am super excited to see it come into the game as a Halloween vehicle. We can see a better look of it here. It looks sick. I'm really, really excited to see just exactly what its playstyle is going to be like. Again, we can see a better position of it here, that it literally has no lower plate. Like, look at that. It has zero lower plate whatsoever. So it'll be really interesting to see how Wargaming decides to actually balance the armor. Now we have the Solier. This is a vehicle that we didn't get the best look of when it was in Wargaming's trailer. But now we actually see what it looks like. It looks like a Jagdpanzer E100. This is going to be a Tier 8 tank destroyer. As I said, looks like a Jagdpanzer E100. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. However, it's actually not going to feature a gun anything like a Jag. Even though this has a legit, like, 80-foot long barrel, it's going to feature a double shotgun similar to that of the Helsing with a 105mm, dealing probably around 300 damage per shot. So something like the silencer. It'll be interesting to see how it actually plays, because we already have a silencer down in Tier 7. We have a Barask up in Tier 8. So is this going to be a tank destroyer variant of the Barask? If so, how is it going to be balanced? Is it going to have good armor? I have no clue. Like, we have no clue what the overall stats are going to be like. But my guess is that it is going to feature pretty good armor. If it's based off of a Jagdpanzer E100, it's probably going to be very slow. But it's going to deal good damage, it's going to have decent accuracy, and probably very good penetration. I'm always excited to see a vehicle like this come into the game because it has a lot of artistic style, and it looks sick. I mean, I don't love the back of it. The back's kind of goofy, I'm not going to lie. But the front looks really cool, especially it has like a little face on it, which we can see that literally like eats souls. The tank looks really cool. You can see it's got a big old mouth on the front. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Solier, but I am personally very excited to see what it's going to be like. Now we have the seasoned tanks. This here is going to be the Tier 7 seasoned tank. It doesn't look anything special, to be completely honest. It looks pretty dang average. It's just going to be a medium with pretty lackluster armor. Then we have a heavy tank. This is called the Meanie, if I'm not mistaken. And it also looks kind of goofy, I'm not going to lie. It's very small. We can see that from like the whole line. These vehicles are very kind of squished, but the Tier 8 looks really weird. It's got almost like a Mexican-style design on the side. And then frontally, it has very well angled armor, it appears, but I have no clue how the armor on this thing's going to be. It's really, really weird on its overall profile. I am excited to see how it plays, but this is the one that's really the goofiest. It's a Tier 9 tank destroyer. And look at this thing. I mean, it looks incredibly weird. First of all, it definitely seems to have a somewhat high caliber gun. We can see that just from the design of it. That looks to be a pretty beefy gun. Maybe a 130 millimeter, maybe even a 150. I'm hoping a 150. It'd be sick if we can get a maybe a turreted. I'm not sure if this is turreted, but it looks turreted. It'd be kind of cool if we could get like a Tier 9 Hellcat with a 600 alpha gun and decent mobility, but I have no clue what Wargaming's actually cooking with this vehicle. I am obviously suspecting not very good armor, but wouldn't it be really cool if this thing actually had a super well armored turret, but it only had armor on the front and then the back of it has no turret whatsoever? That would be sick. But I do expect this vehicle to have a turret because it has no gun that can traverse. I mean, look at it. There's no angle that the gun's going to be able to move. So I am expecting that this thing does have a fully traversing turret, or at least something like that, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. All I can say is that the vehicle looks very cool, and I'm excited to see how it does play. Then we have a really interesting vehicle. This is an American-Chinese hybrid. So this is the BZ-74-1. It has the turret of a Chinese heavy, something very similar to that of a BZ-68. But the hull is that of an M48 Patton. Yes, you heard that right. You can see the hull here. Obviously, it's got that same rounded design and architecture of the M48 Patton, but the turret is very clearly that of what appears to be a BZ-68, or at least closely resembling a BZ-68. I would assume that this tank is either Tier 9 or 10, judging that it obviously is going to have a hull of a Patton and what appears to be a really well-armored turret as well. I'm excited for this tank. I think if Wargaming does a good job balancing it, it will be very fun to mess around with and will be a really, really exciting vehicle. So that is it for all the new tanks that will be coming into the game. But we're not done yet. We also have some new camouflages that are coming out. First of all, we have the legendary Panther 2 camo. This one looks sick. It kind of reminds me of like Black Panther. I don't know if that's exactly what it's supposed to be. You can obviously see it has, like, on the side profile that of a panther's face. That's the ear, that's the eyeball. Pretty cool. I actually really like the design of this skin. I think it looks epic, and it's going to be very cool to put on my Panther too. So I'm actually rather excited for it. I know not everybody's going to love it, but I do like it. Then we have the Kampfpanzer Project 07PE, and this is one of the weirdest camos I've ever seen in the game. I don't know if the animations are sped up, but I don't think they are. It's got like these really weird things, like these squares that are just jumping up and down on the side of it and all over. I'm not gonna lie, I actually think the camo looks sick, but I do think that Wargaming should maybe slow down the animation speed just a little bit. It's too fast right now. But the tank itself looks really cool. This is a vehicle that I did test, and I can tell you it's going to be a super strong tank, but it has been very heavily nerfed since the first time it was in testing due to the ridiculously strong armor. They nerfed the turret, and they nerfed the DPM, so it's not nearly as strong, but it still looks to be a really, really capable tank, and I'm very much excited for it. And we should be seeing it get released, I would say, within the next couple of months after the new update comes out. Now we have the legendary camo for the Object 268. I don't really like this camo. Most likely, this is a Halloween-themed camo, so it will probably come out in October, but really goofy. I don't like this camo. I know some of you might like it, but I don't. I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but it looks real weird. Not Wargaming's best work, if you ask me. Then we have a camo for the M30. Another incredibly weird camo. It's supposed to be a guitar, I think. We can kind of see that from the top. I don't really know. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It looks really weird. It's not like the worst camo ever, but clearly that is like some sort of instrument, maybe a banjo or something, but It's a weird camo. That's what I'll say. Then we have the Conway camo. I really like this one. This is without PBR, but we saw a little glimpse of it with enhanced graphics in Wargaming's teaser video. This camo looks sick. I actually really like it. It's kind of got a similar style to that of the M4Yo with the radiation hazmat thing on it. I really like the designs on the front track, fenders and everything. It looks really, really cool. I love the bottles on it. They put a lot of attention to detail in this camo. I wish Wargaming would make camos like this for tier 10s. This would be such a cool camo if they did something like this style for the 4005. Not gonna lie, I really like the Shite Barn camo, but this is also really cool. Probably one of my favorite legendary camos that Wargaming has worked on in a while. We can also see the Battle Pass camos. We can see November and October's. Kind of goofy. I kind of like this one here. This one's pretty cool. And the purple one, which my face is kind of obscuring, is also pretty cool. I guess I can't really like hide it. Can I do this? There you go. Now you can see a better view of that purple one. It's pretty cool. We'll have to see how they actually look on vehicles. But at the end of the day, that is basically all that's coming into the game. We can see another legendary camo here. This one looks pretty cool, but nothing amazing. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. We've quite a bit of information, and as the channel's saying, not only subscribe to Wotb, but also subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up to date with the newest and most relevant information, and so you can stay informed on everything coming into the game. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!